Hi, my name is Marian Malabad and we're going to present the chapter 7, which is the promotional tools. In this chapter, it includes the advertising, direct marketing, personal selling, public relation, and sales promotion. So what is promotion? Promotion is a key aspect of marketing, encompassing various activities like advertising, direct mailing, sales force activities, and public relation. Its goals is to inform, persuade, and create awareness about a product or service, ultimately leading to a sale. Ang madaling salita, ang promotion ay isang pinakamahalagang bahagi ng marketing. Kasama dito ang advertising, direct mailing, sales force activities at ang public relation. Ang promotion, ang layunin nito ay magbigay alam at manghikayat at para ma-aware tungkol sa mga produkto o serbisyo para mapadali ang pagbebenta. Dahil sa promotion, dito mas napapadali ang mga bagay-bagay. Promotion is a function of informing, persuading, and influencing the customer and purchasing decision. So the objective of promotion is to provide information. First is to share details about product like features, benefits, or uses so the customer understand it better. The next is to increase demand. It is encourage more customer to buy, boosting sales and market shares. The next is to differentiate the company and its product. It's just like to highlight what makes a company or product unique compared to competitors. The next is to increase or maintain sales. It is used strategy to attract new buyers or retain existing customer, ensuring steady or growing sale. And the next is to build up company image. Strengthen the company reputation, make it more trustworthy and appealing. And lastly, is to help salespeople facilitate sales. It is to equip sales team with promotional tools and support to close deals more effectively. Advertising. Advertising is defined as a paid non-personal communication about a product, service, or idea reaching a large audience quickly. It is crucial in the hospitality industry for creating awareness and maintaining brand presence. However, a careful assessment of resources and objective is necessary before implementing an advertising strategy. So, ang advertising sa madaling salita, ito ay isang paraan o ang bayad na paraan sa pagsasabi patungkol sa isang produkto o serbisyo o idea sa mga tao. Ito ay napakahalaga dahil sa isang industriya, lalo na sa hospitality industry, dahil ito ay isang pamamaraan para magbigay kaalaman at mapanatili ang pagkakakilala sa isang brand. Pero, pag isagawa ang isang advertising strategy, kinakailangan ay mahalagang ang mag-ingat ng pagsusuri ng mga resources at layunin upang tiyakin ang epektibong implementasyon nito. Objective of advertising. First is informative advertising. This type is used to introduce a new product or build as primary demand for it. Companies employ aggressive tools to ensure that a new product creates excitement and demand within its target market. It's just like the informative advertising ay ginagamit para ipakilala nga ang bagong produkto at lumikha ng demand. Companies use aggressive strategy para ma-excite ang mga target sa market. Example nito ay isang TV commercial na nagpapakilala ng bagong smartphone, ipinapakita ang features tulad ng advanced camera at long battery life. Next is persuasive advertising. This type is used when competition is stiff. Companies rely on persuasive advertising to be able to keep their company share. Ito yung kapag matindi na yung kompetisyon na ginagamit ito ay para mapanatili ang share ng kumpanya sa pamamagitan ng panghihikayan. Example na lang dito yung ad campaign ng toothpaste brand na nagsasabi na mas maganda ito kaysa sa ibang brands. Just like tulad ng 9 out of 10 dentists recommend. The next is reminder advertising. This type is very important for products that have reached the maturity stage.
It is a product to attempt maintain market position if even they are already top of mind. Ito yung para sa mga produkto na nasa maturity stage na layunin nito mapanatili ang market position kahit kilala na ang produkto. Example dito yung billboard ad ng Coca-Cola na may simpleng mensaheng open happiness para ipalala sa mga tao na bumili ng produkto kahit sikat na ito. Like yung don't forget your Coke, perfect for every meal. Just like that na advertisement.
Next is types of advertising execution. This expert from a textbook on tourism and hospitality marketing discussed the ideal hospitality advertisement and different types of advertising execution. According to Shoemaker et al. 2007, the ideal hospitality advertisement should accomplish 5 things. So the first is make the service element tangible. This means present going the service in a way that the reader can easily understand and visualize. For example, signage ng pictures of your fur friends and enjoying a happy and healthy walk in the park. Mayroong signage na that's what our dog walking service provides. This kind of use vivid imagery and contents to the reader's emotion. By using this kind of approach, it makes the service more appealing and relatable to potential customers. And the second one is promise a benefit. Highlight the positive outcomes that the service will provide, such as solving problems or creating positive experience. For example, kinakailangan naman dito i-highlight kung ano ang makukuha ng customer ng comfort o fulfillment. Halimbawa dito is reach your fitness goals and feel stronger than ever. Our professional training programs are tailored to your needs and help you achieve your result. This emphasizes the benefit of achieving fitness goals and the positive experience of feeling stronger. By combining this kind of element in advertising, the praise makes the service more appealing and persuasive to potential customers looking to improve their fitness. So the third one is differentiate the property. It is emphasize what makes the service unique and better than competitors. Dito naman kinakailangan nating i-highlight ang mga unique na katangian ng serbisyo natin na hindi kayang ibigay ng ibang competitors. Halimbawa kung ang isang restaurant, ang isang negosyo mo, maaari mong ipakita kung papaano ang kanilang specialty dish ay mas masarap at kakaiba kumpara sa ibang mga kainan sa paligid mo. And the next one, and the fourth one is have a positive effects on employees. Show how the service benefits the employee who deliver it. Dito naman, kinakailangan ipakita kung paano nakikinabang ang mga empleyado sa pag-provide ng serbisyo. Halimbawa, kung isang hotel ang isang negosyo mo, maaaring itampok kung paano ang mga empleyado ay natututo ng bagong skill at bibigay ng insentibo, kaya mas madali sa kanilang magbigay ng magandang serbisyo. And the fifth one is capitalize on word of mouth. In this part, encourage customers to share their positive experience about the service. Dito naman, kinakailangang hikayatin natin ang mga customer na ibahagi ang kanilang magagandang karanasan sa isang hotel o isang lugar. Halimbawa, kung isang online store ang negosyo mo, maaaring magbigay ng discount o incentive ang mga kumpanya sa mga customer na magbibigay ng magandang review o magre-recommend ng produkto sa kanilang mga kaibigan. At ilan lang ito sa mga 5 things of types of advertising execution. The next is types of advertising execution. First is the slice of life. Demonstrate how people use the product in their everyday lives. Halimbawa ng advertising dito is yung kung ang produkto mo ay isang coffee machine, kinakailangan ipakita kung paano ito ginagamit ng isang tao. At kung halimbawa sa umaga bago magtrabaho,
o kung paano ang isang pamilya ay nagpo-promote ng isang kape habang nag-uusap tuwing umaga. Ganon ang slice of life advertising. The next is lifestyle. Show how the product fits into a person lifestyle. Dito naman sa halimbawa ay kung ang produkto ay isang fitness tracker, halimbawa dito ay ipinapakita kung paano ito nakakatulong sa isang tao na masubaybayan ang kanilang fitness goal. Nagpapakita ng motivation at kasali sa kanilang daily exercise routine. Ito naman yung tinatawag ng types of advertising execution in lifestyle. The next thing is fantasy. Fantasy create a captivating world around the product or its use. Halimbawa naman dito kung ang produkto ay isang luxury car, maaaring ipakita ang isang kwento ng isang tao na nagta-travel sa mga magagandang lugar at ang kotse ay nagbibigay ng pakiramdam ng freedom at excitement. Ito naman yung tinatawag na fantasy advertisement of execution. The next is mood or image. Evoke positive emotion and association with the product. Dito naman, kinakailangan gamitin ang mga emosyon at imahe upang magbigay positibong connection sa produkto. Kung ang produkto ay isang scented candle, kinakailangan naman dito ipakita sa isang relaxing environment kung saan ang mga tao ay nag-iisip o nagpapahinga at gamit ang soft lighting at calming music upang ma-evoke ng mga feelings ng relaxation at peace. At ito naman ang tinatawag na mood or image types of advertising execution. The next is personality. Create a memorable character that represent the product. Halimbawa naman dito kung isang produkto ay isang eco-friendly cleaning product, maaari kang lumikha ng isang character na isang environment conscious na superhero na palaging ginagamit ang produkto upang mapanatilihing malinis at ligtas ang kalikasan. Ang karakter na ito ay maaaring maging kaakit-akit sa mga customer at maging simbolo ng brand values. At sumunod naman dito ang technical expertise. Sa types of advertising execution naman ito, showcase the company knowledge and experience with the product. Kung ang negosyo ay isang tech company na gumagawa ng mga high performance na laptops, maaari mong ipakita ang mga engineers or eksperto ng kumpanya na halimbawa ay nag-uusap tungkol sa mga advanced feature ng isang produkto, pati na rin ang kanilang mga taong mga may karanasan sa paggawa ng mga cutting edges na devices at ay pinapakita na nito ang kredibilidad at galing ng kumpanya sa larangan. Ganito naman, umiikot ang types of advertisement sa technical expertise. Sumunod naman ay ang scientific evidence. Provide research or scientific findings that support the product's claims. Halimbawa naman dito, kung ang produkto ay isang skincare cream, maaari mong ipakita ang mga clinical study na nagpapakita ng epekto nito sa pagpapabuti ng balat. Halimbawa, according to a 12-week clinical trial, 85% of users saw a notable improvement in skin texture and hydration. Yung gantong bagay ay nagpapakita ng scientific evidence in types of advertising execution. At sumunod naman ay testimonial evidence. It features a credible person endorsing the product. Halimbawa naman dito, kung ang produkto ay isang weight loss supplement, maaring mag-feature ng isang kilalang health expert o nutritionist na nagsasabing ito ay ligtas at epektibo. Pwedeng ding magsama ng mga reviewers mula sa mga satisfied customer na talagang nakakaranas ng positibong epekto mula sa paggamit ng produkto. Ang testimonial ng mga trusted figures ay nagbibigay ng kredibilidad at tiwala sa produkto. At ito ay ang mga ilang halimbawa sa mga types of advertisement execution.
Direct marketing. Direct marketing is presented as a shift away from traditional advertising, focusing on niche markets and building direct relationships with customers. It described as an interactive system that uses various media to establish a connection between a company and its customers. Direct marketing aims to send targeted offers to a customer database of people who are most likely to purchase the product. So, in direct marketing, this is more on communication or distribution, and pwede ka rin magbigay ng information about sa product na binebenta mo sa mga possible customers. And dito, more on persuading siya kasi gumagawa ka rin ng sales na dapat na mapapurchase yung mga targeted audience mo. And ang example ng direct marketing is mga online advertising, outdoor advertising, meron ding mga flyers, and may kita din to sa mga newspapers or magazines. Advantages of direct marketing. Precision targeting. Utilizing a database to identify prospects based on their lifestyles, demographics, and purchasing patterns allows for precise targeting of marketing efforts. So, sa precision targeting, pag nagda-direct marketing ka, parang binibase mo ito sa mga lifestyle, demographics, and purchasing patterns ng mga targeted audience mo. So, pag ginamit mo yung advantages of precision targeting, meron ka ng knowledge kung sino yung most likely na bibili dun sa product, and most likely na madaling i-market yung product mo. Privacy. Direct marketing offers are personalized and not visible to competitors, preventing them from monitoring the offer and potentially matching it. So, sa privacy, mas advantage to sa direct marketing kasi napoprotektahan mo yung privacy ng customers mo or ng consumers. And also, pag nagkaroon ka ng respect dun sa kanilang privacy, and tataas yung customers loyalty mo, and mas may improve pa yung kanilang trust dun sa minamarket mo sa kanila. And then, faster sales. Direct marketing targets actual users of product, leading to faster sales. So, sa direct marketing kasi, since na more on communication and providing information dun about sa product or brand na binibenta mo, magkakaroon ka ng faster sales kasi marami kang nasi-share na about dun sa product na binibenta mo. For example, alam niyo yung mga promotional video or advertising na nakikita mo sa like online, marami kang naiinganyo or napupersuade para bumili. And then, variety of packaging options. Direct mail campaigns offer flexibility in packaging options, limited only by the marketer's creativity and budget. So, dito sa variety of packaging options, sa direct marketing, nakaka-help to na mag-stand out yung product mo when it comes to marketing. And also, pag nag-stand out yung packaging mo, more on madali siyang ma-recognize ng mga customers, and stand out siya sa other competitors. Less competition. Direct mail campaigns face less competition from other media content, as recipients are more likely to engage with personalized and unique messages. So, less competition siya, and advantage siya sa direct marketing kasi pag nag-marketing ka and one-on-one communication to sa consumers, yun lang yung in-advertise or pinopromote mo sa kanya. And no other brand kasi pag sa direct marketing, yun lang yung topic na more on likely pinag-uusapan nyo kasi dahil pinapersuade mo siya na mag-purchase, and yun nga, magkaroon ka ng sales sa direct marketing. Immediate results. Direct marketing often includes response forms or actions allowing for immediate feedback and measurement of results. So, immediate results kasi nagkakaroon ng response si customers ay nagkakaroon ka ng feedback kung ano yung comment niya about dun sa product na minamarket mo. And lastly, measurability. The company can track the number of direct mailers issued, making it easy to determine response rates. So, sa direct marketing, nalalaman mo kung gaano karami yung mga possible customers na bumili dun sa product mo. And natatrack mo kung ilan yung mga response rates ng mga consumers mo dun sa minarket mo. Of direct marketing campaign. Number 1, the list. Number 2, the message. Number 3, the offer. So, number 1, the list. A well-curated list of target market's contacts is crucial for success. It should be accurate, updated, and narrowed down to include current prospects most likely to be interested in the product offering. So, pag sinabi natin the list, ito yung market contacts ng mga prime prospects mo, and it should be accurate, updated, and narrowed down. Kasi, dito included yung mga parang pwede mo, kung kanino mo siya pwedeng i-market, and then the message. So, dito papasok yung content na dapat magkaroon ng interest yung prospect mo, kasi pag nagkaroon sila ng interest doon sa message and napik yung attention ng prospect mo. So, pag sinabi natin the offer, syempre dapat interesting yon and worthy sa customer's consideration. So, pag naging worthy siya sa customer's consideration dahil napik natin yung interest niya, doon magkakaroon ng action na magkaroon ka ng possible purchase and maging success yung direct marketing mo.
Hi, my name is April Elcano and I will discuss the personal selling. Personal selling is defined as the person-to-person communication between a salesperson and prospective customer where needs are met in exchange for money or resources. So, ang personal selling ay tumutukoy sa person-to-person communication between salesperson or taga-benta at ng mga customer. The main goal ng personal selling is ibenta ang pangangailangan ng customer kapalit ng pera or ibang resources. Sa paraang ito, direktang nakikipag-usap ang seller sa customer upang ipaliwanag ng maayos ang product o serbisyo at masiguro na ito ay angkop sa pangangailangan ng mga customer. Like for example, nagbebenta ako ng mga health supplements. As a salesperson, i-explain ko sa inyo ang mga benepisyo ng mga product ko. In this type of selling, ginagamit ko ang aking kaalaman tungkol sa aking product upang kumbisihin kayo na bumili. Sales representatives are integral part of the success of tourism and hospitality industry. Outline the primary tasks sales professional perform for their company as follow. First is prospecting. The sales professional is tasked to look into potential customer or prospect. A good and active database should be maintained as well as networking skills to ensure that there is a steady flow of new customer coming into the business. Pag sinabing prospecting, ito ay paghahanap ng potential na client ng mga sales professional. Dapat ay may active database na pinapanatili at mahusay na networking upang matiyak na lagi may bagong client na pumapasok sa business. Like for example, ikaw ay nagbebenta ng mga kagamitan sa opisina. So, kailangan mo maghanap ng mga kumpanya o negosyo na nangangailangan ng mga bagong gamit tulad ng mga computer, printer, or office chairs. Second is targeting. Sales professionals need to determine how to prioritize their limited time and resources to top customer from their list of prospects. So, one of the role of sales professional is to decide kung paano i-prioritize ang kanilang limited time and resources. upang makuha ang mga kliyente mula sa listahan ng mga prospect. Like for example, may 100 na potential na client ka. So, you need to decide kung sino ang may pinakamalaking pangangailangan ng produkto mo at sino ang may kakayahang bumili agad kaysa mag-aksaya tayo sa mga oras ng ating oras sa mga hindi naman agad interesado sa ating mga product. Kasi sobrang mahalaga ang time sa business. Third is communicating. A constant stream of communication should flow from customer to client and vice versa. Sales personnel need to find ways and means to keep in touch with client. So, as a salesperson, you need to maintain your communication between your customer to make sure na babalik at babalik sila sa'yo. You can maintain them by calling them upang i-follow up ang kanilang mga order, magbigay ng update, o mag-alok ng mga bagong product at promo. So by that, babalik at babalik sila sa'yo. Next is selling. Sales personnel are trained to do product presentation, negotiate, overcome objection, and close the sale. This is the core of what the salesperson does for the company. Technical/expert assistant. Ang mga sales personnel ay well-trained sa paggawa ng mga product presentation, makipag-negotiate sa mga customer, at tugunin ng mga objection. Like for example, nagbebenta ka ng mga mobile phone, then nakita mo na nagdadalawang isip bumili ng bagong mobile phone ang iyong customer. So, as a salesperson, ipapakita mo sa kanya ang mga benefits ng product mo, pati ng mga features nito na magbibigay ng solusyon sa kanyang pangangailangan. At tulungan mo siyang mag-decide na bilhin ito, so by that, you have a close sales agad. Next is servicing. Salesperson should not remain as order taker. Instead, they should shift to becoming customer consultant, helping clients to solve problems, and rendering technical/expert assistant. So, hindi lang basta tumatanggap ng mga order ang mga salesperson. Tinutulungan din nila ang mga customer upang mas maintindihan at mas masatisfied sa kanilang inabil na product or service. Like for example, kung ang isang customer ay nahihirapan sa paggamit ng product na binili mula sa inyong company, bibigyan mo siya ng service upang tulungan at turuan kung paano ang tamang paggamit ng product na inabil nila sa'yo. So by that, binibigyan mo sila ng service upang mas maintindihan ang mga binili nilang products galing sa company mo. Next is information gathering. Sales representative assist the company in gathering intelligence of information just as what the competition is doing or what the company needs are. They also suggest innovation based on market demands. So dito naman, tinutulungan ng mga sales representative ang kumpanya sa pagkuha ng mga mahalagang information tulad ng kung anong ginagawa ng mga kakumpetensya o kung anong mga pangangailangan ng kumpanya. Nagbibigay din sila ng mga suggestion para ma-improve at mas dumami ang kanilang customer. Like for example, kung ang isang kumpanyang kakumpetensya ninyo ay naglabas ng bagong product, as a sales representative, magbibigay ka ng feedback sa iyong company upang magplano ng mga bagong product, features, or promo na pwedeng makahikayat na marami pang mamimili. Last is allocating, where there are product shortage or overbookings. Salespeople assist in deciding which client to prioritize based on past and future business engagement. Dito naman daw, kapag daw may mga kakulangan na products or sobra ang mga booking, tumutulong ang mga salesperson na mag-decide kung aling mga kliyente ang dapat bigyan ng mga priority service. Like for example, kulang ang stock ng isang popular na produkto ninyo. As a salesperson, ikaw ang magdi-decide kung bibigyan mo ng priority ang isang kliyente na may malaking order or ang isang matagal na ninyong customer na may regular na pangangailangan ng inyong produkto. There are 6 selective sales strategies. First is prevent erosion of key accounts. Key accounts are essential to the company's success. They should be carefully managed, cultivated for more frequent consumption and upselling, and protected from switching to competitors. Sobrang halaga daw ng key account para sa tagumpay ng isang business or company. Dapat iniingatan ito, pinapalago at pinapalakas ang relationship to have a loyal customer at hindi lumipat sa mga kakompetensya. Like for example, kung may malaki kang kumpanya na regular na bumibili ng inyong produkto, mas better if magbigay ka ng special service or bigyan ng discount upang matiyak na nagkakaroon ka ng loyal customer at bumabalik-balik sila para sa service mo. Second is grow key accounts. Growing key accounts mean adding more companies into this key account segment of the market. Cultivate secondary or marginal accounts with high potential to become key accounts. Ang grow key accounts, ito yung pagpapalawak ng mga listahan ng mga company. Using this, maaari ding mapalago ang mga secondary or marginal accounts na may mataas na potential na maging key accounts din. Like for example, nagbebenta ka ng mga office equipment at may malaking kumpanya ka ng kliyente. Bukod sa kanila, maaari ka ding maghanap ng iba pang mga malalaking kumpanya na pwedeng bumili sa'yo at maaari kang mag-offer ng parehong serbisyo para mapalago ang iyong mga key accounts. Third is grow selective marginal accounts. Marginal accounts can provide extra sales and revenue when demand from key account is low. Choose marginal accounts that can be cultivated to provide additional consumption. Ang mga marginal accounts naman, ito yung mga nagbibigay karagdagang benta at kita kapag mababa ang demand mula sa mga key accounts. You need to choose marginal accounts na may potential na mapalago at magbigay dagdag na kita sa iyong business. Like for example, kung may mga maliit na negosyo ka nang may potential na lumaki, maaari kang magbigay ng mga special na service at mag-alok ng mga quality products upang mapalaki ang kanilang pangangailangan sa iyong company at maging malaking account sila sa hinaharap. Next is eliminate selected marginal accounts. Some marginal accounts may not be yielding any revenue for the company even after several attempts to make it grow. Know when to drop accounts so that the time and resources allotted for the said accounts can be channeled to other accounts. May mga marginal accounts o customer na hindi nagdudulot ng anumang kita para sa kumpanya kahit na maraming pagsubok na ginawa upang palaguin sila. So, dapat kahit tanggalin ang mga account na ito upang makapaglaan ng oras at resources para sa iba pang accounts. Like for example, mayroon kang isang account na o customer na hindi bumibili ng product sa loob ng 6 na buwan at hindi nagpapakita ng interest sa iyong produkto. Maaring panahon na upang itigil ang pagsuporta sa kanila at mag-focus sa mga mas mataas na potential na accounts para mapalago ang iyong business. Next is retain selected marginal accounts with lower cost sales support. Maintain marginal accounts that take less time and resources to service. That way, this account can produce marginal sales without much effort and budget provided. Dito naman sa retain selective marginal accounts, pinapanatili nila ang mga marginal accounts na hindi nangangailangan ng maraming oras at resources para sa service. Sa ganitong paraan, makakapag-produce sila ng mga marginal na benta nang hindi nasasayang ang pera at oras. Like for example, kung may isang account na patuloy na bumibilis ng product sa inyo, pero madali lang naman silang kausap at hindi nangangailangan ng malaking investment, pwede itong panatilihin at tulungan pa rin silang mag-order ng mga product mula sa inyo nang hindi nagko-consume ng sobrang oras at pera. Lastly is obtain new business from selected prospects. Business development should always prioritize new business that from existing account as well as promising prospect can be beneficial to the growth of the company. Dito naman, ang development ng business dapat ay pinaprioritize dahil ang bagong negosyo mula sa mga existing account at promising prospect ay makikinabang sa paglago ng kumpanya. Like for example, kung ikaw ay may existing account na palaging bumibili, maaari mong pag-usapan kung anong mga product or service na maaari mong i-alok sa kanila. Gayon din, maaari kang maghanap ng mga bagong prospect na malaking potential tulad ng mga bagong kumpanya sa inyong industry upang magdagdag ng mga bagong revenue mula sa inyong business.
Hello everyone. I'm Gamer Lumabas, and in this video, I will going to discuss the public relations. Public relations. Public relations is a process of creating a positive image and customer preferences through third-party endorsement. So sa public relations daw, inaalam natin ang mga preferences and behavior ng isang customers para makagawa tayo ng effective marketing strategies sa business natin. At makakatulong din daw ang public relations para magkaroon tayo ng strong connections and relationships sa customers. So in that way, lalakas daw yung reputation ng business natin, and at the same time, mapaganda din ang image ito sa public. Isa sa mga halimbawa din ng mga marketing strategies para ma-boost yung promotion ng products natin is ang paggamit daw ng mga media channels like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or social media as our promotional tools. Major public relations activities focus on building a positive image and customer preferences for business through various communication channels. At meron daw tayong PR activities. Sa major public relations activities naman, meron tayong 5 major public relations activities that the establishment can pursue. The first one is press or media relations. Dito naman, dito tayo gumagamit ng media channels like social media to attain wide audiences and brand awareness. Cost effective din ito since libre naman yung paggamit ng social media as our promotional tools, and kailangan mo lang din talaga maging matalino kung paano siya gamitin as your promotional tools. So, next naman is products publicity. Siyempre, para magkaroon ng awareness sa mga tao about sa existence ng product mo or ng business mo, you need to make it public. Pwede mo din i-integrate yung mga mass media channels since innovative naman na ang panahon natin ngayon. So, hindi na natin may ipagsabayan sa kung ano ang nauuso and effective when it comes in marketing and promotion. Next is corporate communication. Dito naman sa corporate communication, dito natin promote yung business natin internally and externally. In internal, mag-isimula muna yan sa employees management to share information about the products to be introduced to public to achieve marketing goals. Sa external naman, dito naman na lumalabas yung product, or dito na lumalabas yung product natin sa public para ibenta. And sa lobbying naman, mahalaga na magkaroon din tayo ng relations sa public sectors, syempre para magkaroon sila ng awareness sa industry natin or sa product na in-offer natin sa public, and at the same time para magkaroon tayo ng clean and approved permit to operate a business. Next is counseling. Sa counseling naman, dito po natin tinatalakay yung mga problems na dapat ayusin sa business natin, yung mga bagay na kailangan i-improve, and at the same time dito rin pinag-uusapan yung mga bagong marketing strategies or process na i-introduce in order sa business natin na mas magkaroon ng smooth operation. Sa contributions of public relations to marketing, the contribution of PR cannot be downplayed. It can help marketing in the following ways. Number 1 is assist in the launch of new product. So, since nakabuo na tayo ng public relations, nakuha na natin yung trust ng mga tao. Magiging madali na lang sa atin para i-promote yung new launch product natin since meron ka ng assurance na may tatangkilik na agad nito. Number 2 is assist in positioning a mature product. Dito naman tayo nag-upgrade or may ginagawang pagbabago sa marketing strategy natin para sustain natin yung needs ng mga customers since dynamic yung preference ng customers. Makakatulong din yung feedback nila to know where area should be developed or improved. Next is build up interest in the product category. Dito naman involves yung creating awareness, excitement, and demand for a specific type of product or service. Example dito is social media contents. Number 4 naman, influencing a specific target audience. Dito naman tayo nagsasagawa ng segmentation. Dito natin ina-identify yung mga klase ng audiences natin by category like demographics, psychographic para makagawa tayo ng effective market positioning. Sa tools and audiences naman, ginagamit natin ito para ma-identify yung klase ng audiences and at the same time ma-identify yung tools na gagamitin natin para ma-reach out sila. Like, for example, dito sa chart, ang audience natin is travel writers. Yung tools na gagamitin natin is digital press releases, creative email pitches to encourage writers to visit and write about the property, and good selection of photos in a city. Another example is convention and visitor bureaus sa audience. Yung tools naman na gagamitin natin para ma-reach out sila is sponsorship of trade fairs and details sales kit. Another one is trade shows. So tools na gagamitin natin is personal meeting between PR manager and media representative and media coverage during the trade show. Ganun din sa employees, para ma-reach out yung employees, kailangan natin regularly produce printed or online newsletters, emails, webcasts, bulletin boards, etc. Sa guest naman, sa audience, ang tools na gagamitin natin is printed in-room collateral, personal letters, newsletters, and TV programming. Meron din hanggang sa media press. Sa media press is meron tayong tools na press conferences, media visits, and press releases.
Market. Ang fragmentation of consumer market ay ang pagkahati o pagkawatak ng malalaking merkado sa maliliit na grupo. Ang mga dahilan nito ay demographic diversity, geographic differences, psychographic variation, technological advancement, cultural shift, at product specialization. Ang mga katangian naman nito ay iba't ibang pangangailangan ng mga tao, maliliit na grupo ng mga consumer, at tumataas na kompetisyon. Short term of consumer market. Ang short term of consumer market naman ay tumutukoy sa mga desisyong pangbili ng consumer na may kaugnayan sa kasulukuyang pangangailangan sa loob ng maikling panahon. Ang mga katangian naman nito ay impulsive buying, price sensitivity o pagtuon sa presyo, convenience o kaya mas madaling access sa produkto, urgency o kaya limitadong oras ng mga alok. competition. Ang competition refers to the rivalry among business to attack customer through various promotional strategies, offers, and incentives. Clutter. Clutter refers to overwhelming presence of competing message, advertisement, and promotion in a market. Nagiging hadlang sa pagpansin ng mga consumer sa particular na alok. Halimbawa nito ay ang advertising clutter o maraming patalastas sa iba't ibang platform, promotional clutter o maraming promosyon, digital clutter o kaya spam message and email. Growing power of retailers refers to their increasing influence and control over the supply chain, market trends, and consumer behavior. Ang dahilan nito ay paglalaan ng online shopping at omnichannel retailing, pagtaas ng kompetisyon, pagsulong sa technology, paggamit ng AI sa retail, pangangailangan ng mga produkto at praktika na eco-friendly. Declining brand loyalty refers to the decreasing tendency of consumer to consistently purchase from the same brand over time. Ang mga dahilan nito ay pagbabago ng demograpiko, sobrang impormasyon, negatibong karanasan at sensibilidad sa presyo. Next naman ang promotional tools. Increasing promotion sensitivity refers to strategies that enhance consumer responsiveness to market promotion. Ang mga mahalagang pamamaraan naman nito ay segmentation, target ang mga particular na grupo ng consumer, pagsusuri ng data, aralin ang preference ng customer, at itatag ang malakas na pagkakakilanlan ng brand. Sumunod naman ang promotional tools. Promotional tools are marketing strategies to use to encourage the purchase or sales of a product or service. Promotional tools. Promotional tools are marketing strategies used to encourage the purchase of sales of a product or service. Ito naman is yung mga ginagamit ng mga business owner para mapalakas yung kanilang mga benta. Katulad ng samples, offering free or discounted trial amounts of a product, coupons, mga voucher na naglalagay ng discount sa mga produkto o serbisyo, package, combine complementary products to bundle at a special price, premiums, discounted goods with purchase to provide an incentives and create a sense of value. Patronage reward, programa ng mga negosyo upang kilalanin at gantipalain ang kanilang loyal na customer. Point of purchase o POP, incentive sa mga customer na sandaling sila ay bumili ng mga produkto o serbisyo sa tindahan. Contest and game, offer chance to win prizes with purchase to generate excitement. Ang last naman is sales promotion process. Sales promotion process ay hakbang na ginagawa ng mga negosyo upang mapataas ang benta ng kanilang mga produkto o serbisyo. Narito ang mga steps. Number 1, decide whether a promotion is necessary like kung ang sales ay mababa sa inaasahan, kung ang market share ay bumababa, at kung ang brand visibility ba ay mababa. Set objectives for sales promotion. Define specific goals for the promotion such as increasing sales, building brand awareness, or attracting new customers. Number 3, select promotional tools to use. Gamitin ang pinaka-effective na promotional tools base sa objectives at target audience. Number 4, develop the sales program. Gumawa ng detalyadong plano. Gumawa ng detailed plan that outlines the promotion scope, budget, target audience, and implementation timeline. Number 5 is implement the PR plan. Like finalize PR objectives, define target audience, develop key message, and establish budget, and lastly, assemble PR team. Evaluate PR result. Evaluate PR result help means effectiveness, identify areas for improvement, and inform future.
To prepare a promotional plan, businesses must follow these 4 steps. Step 1. Choose promotional techniques such as public relations, online marketing, sales promotion, direct marketing, advertising, and event based on the target demographic and campaign objectives. For example, one clothing brand nag-launch ng campaign para i-promote yung Christmas collection nila. They decide to use advertising, internet marketing, and social media influencer collaborations para ma-reach nila yung target audience nila. Step 2. Determine which media outlets such as radio, television, newspapers, magazine, billboard, social media, or direct mail will most successfully reach the target audience. For example, pinili ng brand yung Instagram and TikTok as primary platforms para ma-reach yung target audience nila. Gumamit din sila ng paid ads on Google and social media. Step 3. Select channels that will maximize promotional contents, impact, and ensure timely delivery, ensuring coordinations across all platforms. For example, nag-start yung campaign late November para mag-align sa upcoming Christmas. Tapos yung mga ads and posts ng influencers ay nakaschedule during peak usage times such as evenings and weekends for maximum visibility. And lastly, step 4. The success of media channels can be assessed through metrics like engagement, reach, and ROI to determine the effectiveness of campaigns and enhance future strategies. For example, nag-analyze yung brand using Google Analytics and Instagram Insights. Metrics there na website traffic, social engagement, and hashtag usage para ma-assess yung campaign success.